Herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe der Klemmbaustein-Lyrik. Und als ich ja vor einigen Tagen in Billund war, hatte ich dort auch die Möglichkeit, mit den Designern der Lego Batman Movie Sets zu sprechen. Da kommen wir gleich zu. Zwei wirklich sehr unterhaltsame und interessante Menschen. Vielleicht erstmal ganz kurzer Blick darauf, was es denn für Lego Batman Movie Sets so gab. Einige habe ich ja auch schon vorgestellt. Interessantes Set ist sicherlich das links da, der Scuttler, der ja im Film auch relativ prägnant vorkommt. Eine ganze Menge Fahrzeuge, aber zum Beispiel auch das Batcave, beziehungsweise der Batcave-Einbruch. Die konnte ich mir in Nürnberg mal etwas genauer angucken. Hier nochmal der Scuttler, der ja so eine Art, ja, wie soll man sagen, Sammelsurium aus verschiedenen Gefährten ist. Insbesondere läuft er, fliegt er, wahrscheinlich schwimmt er auch. Und hier sehen wir den Batcave-Einbruch, ein Set, das so um die 100 Euro kostet. Ist dafür allerdings auch reich bestückt, über 1000 Teile. Naja, da kann man zum Beispiel hier, durch eine Drehvorrichtung simulieren, wie sich denn Bruce Wayne in Batman verwandelt. Ja gut, es sind zwei Minifiguren auf jeweils einer Seite der Scheibe. Dann kann man ein bisschen hier im Batcave zum Beispiel den Bildschirm verstellen. Ist ja immer gut für die Ergonomie. Man weiß ja nie, wann der Betriebsschutz mal vorbeischaut. Hier sind die gesammelten Werke an möglichen Verkleidungen. Naja, es sind eben Minifiguren. Dann haben wir hier auch den Pinguin in seiner Ente. Auch das haben wir ja hier und da schon mal so ähnlich zumindest gesehen. Das Set ist interessant, aber ist sicherlich jetzt auch nicht so ein Highlight, wo man sagt, boah, das hat es ja alles noch nie gegeben. Es gab ja auch schon größere Batcaves, also so gesehen kein Must-Have. Macht aber nichts, deswegen reden wir jetzt mal mit den Erschaffern der Serie. Und wie man hier sieht, um das erste Eis zu brechen, habe ich erstmal meine Kamera umgeworfen. Also, sie hat es überlebt. Erstaunlich.
My name's Michael Fuller, and I'm the Senior Design Manager and one of the art directors on the LEGO Batman movie. And this is Joe Coleman.
Yeah, hello, I'm Joe Coleman. I'm a senior designer on the LEGO Batman movie.
So, all the LEGO Batman movie sets are from you?
So you our team? Yes, 100%. So we work in close collaboration with the movie team. So they will come up with crazy ideas, as you can imagine. They shoot those over to us, and with my team of graphic designers, builders, and new brick designers, we turn them into a reality for the big screen, and then of course for products as well.
So you had also ideas now in the movie?
Some of our ideas, for sure, yeah. It's I would call the LEGO movie a real co-creation process. Okay. So the idea will always come from somewhere. Maybe it's from the movie side, maybe it's from the LEGO builders, design side, but it has to be an organic process, partly because we need all of their ideas on what makes a great movie, but at the same time we have so much knowledge on our children, our fan base, our LEGO consumers, that we want to make sure that we deliver on absolutely every level as well. So I believe it takes great people from the film industry, great people from the toy industry, and everyone who's very passionate to make something like this film. Yeah.
What was the main idea, or what was your imagination when you thought about what we can do in this movie? What sets are interesting? I think, okay, black is it's clear. It has to be black.
Yeah.
Okay. But the rest, for example, the Scuttler and so on. I think it's not in the original movies, isn't it?
No. Well, the Scuttler's a really interesting model because it was, what bat vehicle do you build for the man that has everything? Well, a giant personification of himself, a giant bat to ride around with, very much fitted our character. He's quite arrogant, he's quite full of himself, so a giant bat seemed like the logical next vehicle, and it was always having some fun with Batman. Again, we're LEGO, so where some of the other films may be a bit darker, we poke and prod Batman. Why does he fight crime all the time, and why doesn't he catch everybody all the time? So I think the challenge with Batman was taking everything that everybody already loves, but finding a new way to do it, and that's been a balance here a lot. So remembering everything that's so iconic and that everybody already has a place for in their heart, but how do we find the LEGO way of doing it, and how do we take it to the next level? And same with the villains, I think, as well.
Exactly, that's where the colour differentiation, of course, when you think of the LEGO Batman movie, of course, everything's going to be black, like you said, but actually no, it's a very colourful product line, actually. Of course, Batman's in black and very dark grey and little pinstripes of red. But you have the Joker's lowrider, for example, that is purple and lime green and just screams Joker. And lots of all the other vehicles as well have these bright colours as well. So it's a very it's bright
and colourful line for a dark Batman movie.
He's traditional, very dark, but actually it's more accessible to the kids, and it's very exciting and just looks great on screen as well.
The nice thing is, I think, with the LEGO movie, which I did the same job with the LEGO movie, what we were so happy about there is there was something for everybody. So if you like space, you had Benny. If you like pirates, you had Metalbeard. That whole world embraced that, because that's what we do at LEGO. But the great thing is, even here in an established world like Gotham, we've still got monsters like Clayface, robots like Freeze, lowriders for Joker, swamp trucks for Killer Croc. Do you know what I mean? We've still managed to get a whole amount of variation into what seems like quite an established world. But partly that's because we had all of these crazy villains to play with. So it's normally focused on a Penguin or on a Bane, but here we went back to the 60s and we dug up all the craziest characters you could find. The ones that would make no sense anywhere other than inside of a Batman film. And that's the comedy. I mean,
they even reference it in the film. They even reference that. Oh yeah, definitely worth a Google. And it really is, because they really do exist.
We had to look them up when they came into the studio, you know. So again, getting that humour, getting that fun, and again, yes, there's been Bat movies in the past, but it's what already works and how can we take it to the next level, you know.
How long was the time period from the first ideas about the Lego Batman movie till the sets are now in the store?
Yeah. So from a design point of view, from Lego side, I would have been the first onto the job, so to say. And in those very early days, that will be when scripts start coming out. So there are conversations before I get involved, and that's very much between the larger business partners. And as soon as I come in, the first script, we'll get that, and we will be reading it through and working out where we can get some great vehicles or where there's an opportunity. For me, from there, I think, until we actually have products on the shelf, would have been about 2.5 years with this film. With Lego Movie, 3, maybe 3.5. Again, with Lego Movie, we were even trying to work out how do we get bricks into a, you know, there's a lot of startup type stuff, conversations to be had about how to animate. And then Joe, you were on a while.
I was on for almost 2 years, it felt like, and then so I actually left the project April last year. I'd done a lot of work and already delivered the models, and then I was pulled on to the next movie franchise.
Because we're always overlapping, of course, so as we're finishing up one, we've got people moving on to the next one as well. Yeah.
I realized, I think one of the most interesting characters is the Clayface, the model. Yeah. I think it's a really interesting kind of building also, to have this clay, it's kind of model. Yeah. How is it's working to get this into a model? So someone in your group has an idea and say, okay, we want to have clay, so we need something in brown, and now what's your way to go on this problem?
We actually designed Clayface together.
We actually worked on it together. Mike did you did the first pass when it came through, the original sketch.
So for example, a car, I think it's easy. You have wheels, you have a stair, and so on. I think it's only a question of some innovations in a small parts. Right. But Clayface, I think it's more innovation in the whole.
Definitely.
He's a creature in himself, and how do we make something that is meant to look like a blob of bricks that are moving all the time in animation, but actually make it a cool toy to play with that doesn't fall apart all the time and is safe like all Lego toys? So we had to kind of build it in a way that the kids could also build it as well. But the good thing
is we always laugh because we spent loads of time working out exactly where every blob of mud will go.
And each 1x1 stud.
But if you build him wrong, it doesn't really matter either. That's what we love about it. Exactly. And when he came through to the office, like Clayface again was the very first model we built into brick. So he was kind of used as a bit of a figurehead, right, in showing what we're planning to do with this film. And what's lovely for us is he's such a brand statement in himself, right? He's covered in bricks. He's made of studs. He constantly rebuilds himself into something. Like just on screen, he hopefully inspires kids to say, "I'm going to take the head off." You know, and I'm going to maybe take this arm off and I'm going to build something else on. So it's not so much the character in itself, but what it leads to, which we got very excited about. But the build itself, I think we basically started with a skeleton, got as many studs around it as possible.
Nice, strong.
Exactly.
Very interesting.
But we always look forward to what people do with them once they launch as well.
Because he comes with his 2 hands with stud shooters, so he can fire clay like he does in the movie. And then he has another arm that's included in the set, which is a hammer, which you see him shift into. But I want to see what else he's going to shift into and what the kids are going to
Or if you buy
use.
2 or 3, what can you do with that,
exactly.
you know?
Or the leftover parts you have, what are you going to add on to? Are they made of clay? Is he formed other parts of vehicles onto him as well? It's really endless, and he's a great
model, but you feel like hopefully you've planted a seed there as well. Do you know what I mean? And you're right, Clayface does an awesome job of that. But again, still, when we see it on the big screen, you see him starting to drip and morph. You know, that still brings it to life to us. I always joked it was like with Emmett, somewhat with Clayface. There's a day definitely comes when at one point he's a pile of bricks you can sweep into the trash, you know? He's a model, he's a job. But then there comes a day through animation when you can't just push him off the table anymore.
You can't start on the next model. You have to keep hold of it. Okay, we'll put him on the shelf next to version 5 and 6.
He's a character. He's no longer just a model you can sweep, you know.
And when you get the eyes on there as well, just having them on the 1x2 slopes, just with eyes connected, and you can actually just swap the eyes around, and he becomes sad as well, and you really connect with him, and he's just a big pile of bricks. So he's one close to home.
You worked with him for a long time. So I mean, again, I did a lot of the first passes on models, and as we built up pace, you know, we bring in specialist designers to help, right? Because there's so many models. But I mean, Joe will work with that character for maybe up to a year, you know, especially if it's a very complicated model. You that's your friend. That's who you spend your days with. You know, you have stared at him for longer than anybody else has. You cannot avoid. Of course, we are professional. We hand models around and we share, but you cannot avoid a personal connection with some of these things you create. You know, you just can't. I don't think so. Anyway.
Yeah, we work at, but yeah, we've got a whole design team giving input as well. But you know, you have someone that's responsible as well. And by the end, you end up having an army of clay faces around your desk from all the different iterations and versions you've tested, and it's really hard to let them go.
What's your own history? How long you're working for Lego, and what have you done before?
So I actually came to Lego as an intern. So I came here when I was 20 years old during my studies, and I'm now 30, and I've actually been here for 9 years. So the idea was never 9 years, but I came in, I worked on lines like Lego City. We both started in the same place. Then Star Wars, Indiana Jones, if anyone remembers those. And then I was very lucky to go into front-end, what we might call concept development. And then that developed a lot of our in-house themes like Galaxy Squad, if people have heard about that, some of our classic westerns. 5-6 years ago, my boss brought me this idea, the Lego movie.
What's that?
Maybe it's worth looking at. You know, he had some scripts, and I did not have movie experience, but I was very much I will try and take it on, you know. And that's last 6 years of my career. That's, you know, again, it helped me shine. Senior designer, manager, senior manager, but I have been lost to the movie world for the last 5 years, I'd say.
And you?
And yeah, myself, we're both from the UK, as you can tell, and we've made our way over to Denmark.
You have good English.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm glad it's pretty good. So yeah, I started actually when I was 22, but a little later, and I was showing my work from university. I'm trained as a product designer. I did a degree in product design, and I was showing my work in London at this exhibition, and I got talking to a friendly chap for about half an hour, and I was desperate for a job, and I thought, I hope he's someone. And at the end he said, hey, I work for Lego, I'd really like for you to apply for this job. And I got flown over to Billund for 2 days, along with I think 18-20 other designers, and you're put in a room for 2 days, and they come in with a big box of Lego, dump it on the floor, and they say, you know, make something really cool. And along with the other tasks like drawing tasks and teamwork and things like that. And that was probably the most exciting job interview, but also the most terrifying as well. And because you're there with loads of other talented people that can build amazing things. And but I managed to get the job, and that was about 5 years ago now. So yeah, I've been here for 5 years.
People always say, right, because we often go out to design shows to, you know, recruit and things. Yeah. But people often say afterwards is they never see the Lego guys coming, because we're not the guys in the suits and the shirts. You know, we're the guys in the baseball caps. The company very much allows us to be ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Because it makes us somewhat who we are. So you'll never see a Lego guy coming. You know, if you think that they're going to come in a suit, you'll generally be disappointed.
I think it's true.
It's good. We're like stealth. We're stealth, you know.
And there's such a background of different designers. Like I come from a product design background. You're automotive design.
Then you have fashion design even as well.
But you have
chefs.
Yeah, chefs. One of my colleagues was a lumberjack as well, and a dance choreographer. I think that's the same chap. So actually, there's loads of different backgrounds, and from all around the world as well. We just happen to be from the UK, but there's Danes.
Oh, we got it from around the
Americans.
world. But I think the note generally is your key skills. Obviously, maybe your building skills, maybe your drawing skills are a reason why you would work in this company. But you cannot make product lines like this on your own either. You have to be the sort of person who can work in a larger group, and that's the lovely thing. People from different countries, different backgrounds, you get such a rich, so many different directions. Do you know what I mean? So many different angles on it.
All these ideas that you never would have thought of, and just ways of thinking as well.
You wouldn't get that if you took 20 people from the same design school every year. You know, you have to get the variation, but then you have to find the way of working together as well, of course.
Teamwork's very important.
I think to ask you what's your next project is it's not very fruitful. Okay. So I think I say thank you very much. It was very interesting. Clayface is really a nice model, and so yeah, we have to wait what will come next, and perhaps
we can promise you it will be awesome. Is what we can promise you.
Nothing other.
all you need.
That's what I expected. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.